Heads of security formations urged to hit the ground running in ensuring a peaceful atmosphere for the economy to thrive. Stakeholders set agenda for the legislature say patriotic actions must be considered over party affiliations. Also on political update today, political parties muster the energy for the November off-cycle governorship elections in Imo, Kogi and Bayelsa states. Interests and intrigues as candidates seek support. And from the subcontinent, how free was the election in Freetown? We have these and more on our lineup. I am Fisai Ogunfuyi. Welcome. Center for Transparency, CTA, has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to ensure that challenges observed in the conduct of the 2023 general elections do not reoccur in the off-cycle governorship elections in November this year.
The Center for Transparency, Advocacy and Election Observer Group believes that it is crucial to acknowledge the hurdles faced during the February and March 2023 elections, urging Nigerians to also focus on the positives that emerged from the polls and ensure they are sustained.
The fact that we have an election where the winner came up with 8 million votes and the following votes were 6 million, altogether putting it, say, about 50 million votes, means that we are now having the real people who are voting in the country, unlike in the past, where you had the numbers without the people coming out to vote.
Why are we talking about those things that didn't go well and not giving credit for the things that went excellently well?
INEC had fixed the Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi States governorship elections for November 11, 2023. CTA is hopeful that the elections would be an improvement with lessons learned from the previous elections. The Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room is similarly following up on its report of the 2023 general elections, demanding urgent national electoral reforms to reignite citizens' confidence in Nigeria's electoral process.
And so on the off-cycle elections in November, the Labour candidate for the governorship election in Imo State in November, Senator Athan Achonu, has appealed to the relevant authorities to ensure age-free exercise in the state, which will reflect the will of the people.
To have democratically elected chairmen and councillors. You know, there is no councillor who will not know those who live in his ward. The ward is a small community. So everybody knows everybody. So once we have that, if there is any infiltration into any ward, that councillor will raise alarm. And I've always advocated that local governments should have vigilantes to protect them in partnership with Nigerian police and other security agencies, so that there will be no crime in rural areas. So I will implement that immediately when I'm sworn in after becoming the governor of Imo State.
And now to the legislature. The leadership of the 10th Assembly says it is working closely with the executive to reform some national policies that are not strong enough to bring the needed economic prosperity to Nigerians. Senate President Godswill Akpabio said this during a Thanksgiving Mass in his honor.
The problem are brought to an end from Electoral all the way to Calabar. Wouldn't you be happy? If the deep report that you have been looking for becomes a reality, won't you be happy?
This is man that has the heart of God, and it has a weapon. The weapon is the spirit of forgiveness.
3 years into this 10th Assembly, the common man is going to feel the impact of the Senate.
It will not be a departure from what the executive has said. So there is no cause for alarm. Nigeria is in for better days.
Now, the 10th Assembly is up and running. It is, however, expected to go the full throttle once it resumes from its recess in July, with the much-anticipated ministerial list from President Bola Tinubu and some expected sectorial interventions. Honorable Philip Agbese, member representing Ado Okpoku Ogadigbo Federal Constituency of Benue State, joins us today. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure for having me.
Now, we expected drama when you were going to choose a speaker looking at the sheer number of political parties in the Green Chamber. Surprisingly, it went in one direction in spite of the pre-event boast by some of you.
Fisayo, well, I will not allow you to take us back. The House is focused. We are marching forward on the Nigerian project. We want to deliver on our campaign promises to the electorate. The masses are waiting for us. The unemployed youth are eagerly asking, what do we have for them as a government? What is Parliament doing concerning their yearnings and aspirations? So I think it is time for governance, and we have seen that so far. The best of the best, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas has emerged as a speaker. Right Honorable Ben Kalu has emerged as his deputy. The various political parties are coming up with their leadership structure. We want to deliver on our campaign promises.
All right, let me not play the devil's advocate, but is this general approval indicative of what could be largely docile assembly, or are we going to expect some vibrancy from you?
Well, what we did on June 13th was just to come together in the interest of our country, irrespective of our political leanings, to pick the best amongst us as the Speaker of the House. Every member of the National Assembly from the 360 federal constituency for now is actually the best that the constituency had thought wise at the February poll to represent the people. And when you have the best, 359 best in one room, you also go through exactly what we went through in arriving at the best of the best, which happens to be Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas today. What really happened leading to his emergence as a speaker? Of course, we all can call it politics, but for us, for some of us, it was just a selection process. We needed to go through the process. We wanted to deepen democracy. We all participated. We wanted debate. We got debate. We also had the final say. The members had a final say. There was deep consultation, deliberation with various stakeholders. We had all of that. And the sheer fact that the Labour Party, the YPP, Abuja, and all the political parties came together to give Honorable Tajuddin a very resounding victory. 353 votes on the day of voting shows clearly that yes, Nigerians are in tandem with his leadership. We want to work with him. We know exactly why we're in the House. We know why what he represents, and he has started to demonstrate that. We've seen recently the composition of an ad hoc committee. For him, there's no victor, no vanquish. He wouldn't even have an enemy because he got over 99.9% of the votes, to become the speaker. So having secured about 99.9%, it is now about the Nigerian task. He is the Nigerian speaker, for God's sake. Even the president of the country didn't win with that kind of landslide in the last election. So as a Nigerian speaker, I honestly sympathize with him because he has a lot to do, and so far so good. His steps are being guided by the Almighty God. He's moving well. The House is well united behind him. Even those who participated in the leadership tussle have decided to queue behind him. Our leader in the North Central, His Excellency Right Honorable Idris Wase, has had a meeting with all of us from the North Central and given a marching order why we must support him to do well. He has demonstrated that on the floor of the House. Honorable Aliu Betara has spoken to his people. Everybody is working with him. Even the man Jaji, who also had 3 votes at the election, he's also working with him. So for us, it is a united House. There won't be any docility. We've had 3 or 4 sittings since after our inauguration, and Nigerians can attest to that, that the debates have been very held in, very powerful, very engaging.
All right, talking about being engaging, what should we expect from the younger lawmakers, since a lot has been said about the inexperience of majority of the current crop of representatives?
Well, for me, the Nigerian problem is not young. So I also didn't campaign on the basis of my age to find my way to the National Assembly. I understand that the problem of insecurity as far as this country is concerned is not young, and it requires a very proactive approach which Mr. President, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has commenced by the engagement of new service chiefs, to pilot the affairs of the security sector with an NSA who has both police and political background coming to play to coordinate the intelligence agency. So I think we'll do well. What advantage our age has to do is that we'll be able to do, Nigerians should not expect a sleeping house this time because of our age. I think that is the advantage that we have in terms of age. Other than that, everybody...
I hope you are not insinuating that some actually went to the chamber to sleep in the past.
Yes, we have seen that in the past, and no lawmaker is expected to do that, especially with the kind of vision that our speaker has brought on board. In the next couple of days, he's going to unveil his legislative agenda. And I believe with the over 350 votes which he garnered at the poll, it will be very easy for all of us to assimilate, digest, and understand this legislative blueprint. What is important at the moment is about working for the Nigerian society. And President Asiwaju has actually commenced that reforms in the petroleum sector, in the security sector, and even in the economy. For the petroleum sector, many analysts, many nationalists have come out to say, yes, the removal of fuel subsidy is okay. I agree with them. But for us, we also want to say that just to remove fuel subsidy is not enough. We must provide palliatives at one end, and then at another end, we must also ask questions. What took all these monies in the last 8 years if we have all agreed that the existence of the fuel subsidy in the last 8 years was actually a fraud? What happened to our money? Nigerians are asking. I've received about 48 petitions from constituents, prompting me to move a motion for an investigation into subsidy payments. I've received other petitions from many Nigerians, asking me as a people's representative, as a representative of the Nigerian youth and the Nigerian civil society, to ask these questions: what happened in this sector, what happened in that sector. So I don't see a docile house. Rather, I see a house that will live up to its expectation. I see a house that will fulfill its mandate. I see a house that will deliver on the expectations of the Nigerian people. I equally see a house that the international community, for the first time in the history of our country, will be proud to say, yes, indeed, in Nigeria, there is a parliament.
Do you have a constituency office?
Yes. At the moment, I have 3 constituency offices. I intend to expand it to 35 across the 35 wards. I remember.
Let me before you go forward, let me ask you, the second caveat. You have constituencies. Are they staffed?
You see, during it is on record that during my electionary campaign, I constituted a 700-man campaign council, and the Nigerians were asking, what is it about a 700-man campaign council when the presidential candidates have less than 500 members of their campaign council? And I've continued to impress it on our people that democracy is about the people. And if democracy is about the people, it means that we must continue to reach out to the people. And in reaching out to the people, we must continue to create opportunities and avenues to continue to engage the people. I've opened new social media handles. My emails are there. We have active telephone numbers to engage our constituents. I intend to have a constituency briefing at the end of every month, where I'll go back to hold what I call the People's Assembly, where the people will be on that day. There will be the speaker, there will be the chief whip, and I will be their servant to be asked questions and to equally brief them on what I'm doing here in Abuja, and to again collate their views, their opinions on issues concerning both the federal constituency and even the country in general. To that end, next week I'll be loading about 4 bills, local bills, national bills, and what I even term international bills, to see how well we can contribute positively to the development of Nigeria as a country.
All All right, let's quickly, we'll take, one story. We'll come back, to constituency, engagements and all that. You being a new member, of course, we are likely to see a lot of innovation and, the energy right there. But we would continue to monitor the process and see, the spirit, general spirit of the actions that you intend to take. But let's take this next story. The APC National Integrity Group says the party will bring on board interests expressed during the 2023 general election, while acknowledging the efforts of the leaders and members who ensured that the party remained on top at the center. The group said the labor of its loyalists will not be unrewarded.
The political race for the top seat in Nigeria is now over, and for the APC National Integrity Movement, it is time to celebrate the crown on the head of a man who it fits the Jagaban. But behind the new leadership in the country are the foot soldiers who made several sacrifices to make the future happen for prosperity and national development. And in their numbers, one after the other, they queued to be awarded with the uncommon plaque for service to the party and for the groundbreaking victory.
I want to encourage all youths and all our members and all Nigerians and APC servers in particular to please give him all the support to achieve all the laudable goals he has been putting to himself.
Their dedication, passion and commitment to our party has been nothing short of extraordinary, and they truly deserve all the recognitions, honor that we are giving them today.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu recognizes the urgent need to embrace inclusivity and ensure that every citizen has a voice in the political process.
Nigeria today consists of a booming population of young men and women. This is a plus for the country.
For the awardees, the honor was a fulfillment of a lifetime that does not require a speech, but increased loyalty for the party ahead of more victories.
So, go to Sobri. From Sierra Leone, we hear that the heads of international missions to the Sierra Leonean general elections have given the exercise in most parts of the nation a near clean bill of health.
The Commonwealth Observation Mission, African Union, ECOWAS, and the West African Elders Forum at a briefing shared the same realities from the fields of elections, which they say can help improve integrity of the process for future polls in Sierra Leone. The ECOWAS election observation team monitored about 337 polling units, with the Commonwealth team overseeing the 5 regions. The missions acknowledge it is a work in progress and have advised the stakeholders to exercise some level of patience to allow the electoral body carry out its collation without any interference. The major takeaway from the joint international heads of missions post-election briefing is the fact that they all agreed that the election was largely successful. And if there is anything Sierra Leone can only leverage on the recommendations that will be dished out by these heads of missions for future elections. After the briefing, the team was at the Sierra Leonean Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion, where they emphasized the need for continued peace after the election in Sierra Leone.
Everybody has voted. That's what we verified. The most important thing is also that people are allowed to vote.
Facets of the society, people have tried their level best to work for this peace and want to make sure that this peace is maintained.
Even in Freetown, the hope is for free and fair elections. You must, agree with me in terms of the sentiments expressed there. We still have Honorable Philip Agbesi, member representing Ado Okpoko, Ogadibo Federal Constituency of Benue State, right here with us. Now, Honorable, some of the viewers will be impressed by the height of your cap. Perhaps if we remove it and turn it upside down, it will be full of requests from the people of Ogadibo, Okpoko, and Ado Federal Constituency. So, what are the low-hanging fruits? What do you want to do for your people as you begin to set sail in terms of your legislative journey?
Within the next 100 days, we have decided to support our students and the youths to return back to school, especially now that the strikes are over. and in doing that we intend to offload scholarship to 1,000 young students from the federal constituency. The issue of compensation for border communities is also another burning issue. Aguila is a town between Benue, Ebonyi, and Enugu State. I'm coming up with a bill for the creation of a Federal College of Education in that community, and by God's grace, that bill is going to pass through the first reading next week. We are equally coming with motions to ensure that issues of insecurity in that community is also well tackled. We are looking at development of communities that are giving out mineral resources, and that will culminate into what I call the Non-Oil Mineral Resources Community Development Commission Bill, which I'm...
Do you have artisanal mining in your area?
Yes, we carry out mining of coal in Owukpa, limestone, soil in Nunlai, Igumale area, and outside my immediate constituency, mining activity has been going on in Boko. Is a neighboring federal constituency in Yandef, Boko for a very long time without compensation to the communities. So the Non-Oil Mineral Community Development Commission, when eventually passed into law, is an agency of government that will see to the issue of compensation for these communities that have been helping the Nigeria state to generate revenue and even the world at large.
Honorable Philip Agbe say, time is not my friend on the show now. No, time is not our friend, and we're about to round up, but I would like you to speak to this. The last time we had you here, there was the issue of recurring boundary clashes between, happening in your constituency, and you were talking about reaching out to, the other part of it, across states, to try and see if that could be, checked or at least reduced to its barest minimum. How far with that talk, and have you had that talk, or is still, in the pipeline?
No, we have discussed that even on the floor of the House. My colleague, Honorable Eze Nwanchukwu Eze, brought it as a motion to look at compensation and to address the issue of underdevelopment between my constituency and his constituency. We took it to Mr. Speaker. The House gave their full endorsement and support. We're equally working with Mr. Speaker behind the scene to ensure that we do not only deliver on our campaign promises, but to ensure that some of these marginalized communities, underdeveloped communities in the country are given a facelift, all thanks to the leadership of Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. He has seen reason with us.
The House, especially the Green Chamber. There, we wish you the very best, Honorable Philip Agbe, for being a part of the program today, and of course for watching. For you at home, of course, keep it locked on in Nigerian Television Authority, Africa's finest and largest, for news, reviews, previews, and interviews. And we're back again on Friday for a fresher program. I wish guests of watchers from across the country the very best of the holidays tomorrow, and of course Thursday. We'll be back on Friday again with a fresh program, hoping that between now and then you play your politics for the greater good. Bye-bye now.